Hello and welcome to the Star Wars Legends Podcast, episode 13. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me I got my other host, Dylan.
Hi, also known as John Tuttle.
Well,
we're back after the catastrophe of last editing.
God, don't remind me of that. I apologize, people. I apologize so many times. Let's get into this. So this is a rare opportunity. Since we don't have really any discuss, we have like one topic, maybe two to discuss. Well, I say two because Dylan's going to speak about Armada, and I'm just going to smile and nod, even though I have no frame of reference with Armada. So we've got the audience can submit questions, and we'll read them live to tape. So ask away. All right, Dylan, let's get into the Armada talk.
Well, I don't know how this flew under the radar for as long as it did. Or at least under my radar, because I follow Fantasy Flight a lot. But apparently on April 22nd, Fantasy Flight made a multiplayer scenario for Star Wars Armada called Take the Station. It's 3 to 4 players, so you can actually play with multiple people. Smaller game. The current tournament rules, you have 400-point fleets. In this game, you have 150-point fleets. You don't have a flagship, so no commanders. There's no objective cards because it's basically an objective. It's basically you start at each of the four corners into the map on the board, and then the first 3 players to get to the center of the map get a victory token, which gives them points. And the faster you get faster you get there, the more points you get. And it's actually, I think it's written in the rules in a way that multiple player, if you get 2 of your ships, then you can get 2 of the tokens. So it's kind of a race to the center, but at the same time, it's built in a way that it's not based on the overall points at the end of the game are based on the points of ships you have left, not the points of ships you killed. So it's kind of a race to the middle, but also survive kind of thing. It's very interesting. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but since I've seen it, I've been kind of putting together some fleets to try out, because I'm at 150 points in the game is not a lot, considering an Imperial Star Destroyer is 120 points. A Mon Calamari Cruiser is 106 points. So if you take the big ships, you're basically investing all of your points into one ship, and you don't get any starfighters or anything like that. And that's not even counting upgrades. So experiment to see if it's better to have one really heavily armed ship or a bunch of smaller ships that are lightly armed, but there's a bunch of them, so you can kind of swarm and kind of use their speed to get the tokens early. But it's a great concept. I can't believe it's been this long and I haven't found out about it, and I'm excited to play it. But that's the Armada news.
Are you going to actually play this with someone, or are you just going to play this by yourself? Are you going to play with John Sadler?
John Sadler lives in Illinois. I'm not going to play with him.
You are John Sadler. Can we go?
No.
Dylan, this is your therapist talking. Sadler.
To the two of you watching now, you have any questions? Because we're out of topics.
Well, we could talk about the Rogue One thing.
Do we have to?
I suppose so. I mean, we got nothing better to do.
So if you've been living under a rock for the past day, if you're an Expanded Universe fan that doesn't really care, apparently it came out that Forrest Whitaker's player in Rogue One, character in Rogue One is a character who appeared in Season 5 of Dave Filoni's The Clone Wars.
I don't think anyone got that far.
But it's bringing up...
Ass.
I'm actually laughing in all my non-expanded universe groups I'm in, because I've just kind of joined a lot of groups and then haven't left them anywhere. They show up on my feed every now and then, and I see a bunch of people like, oh, this is so great that they're bringing someone from They're bringing someone from like not the movies, but they're making him in the movie and making him fully canon. It's so great because they've never done anything like this before, especially with the Clone Wars era. We've never seen a character from the Clone Wars era make it into the movie that was previously established outside of the movies, and all that other kind of bullcrap that we know is not true at all.
Oh, so dumb.
Your reaction.
Oh my god. God, that's so fucking ignorant. I don't even have a rebuttal.
You don't?
I don't, because that's just so fucking stupid. I didn't think it would affect me that badly, but it did. You remember Ayla Sakura?
Yeah.
Fanboys.
That's exactly exactly the character I was talking about.
Or Quinlan Vos, even.
Well, when did Quinlan Vos show up again? I always forget his reference. Or
in the movie?
Yeah.
He's in episode 1.
Okay. That's what I thought it was, but I thought it's too early for that. Anyway.
There.
Well, that's it, folks. Goodbye. Just kidding.
Oh, God.
I don't even think the questions thing is working because I'm on the thing right now and I don't see a way you can ask questions. If it is not working, then just type the question.
To Google Plus.
Oh.
Also, just refresh your YouTube feed of it. Refresh. I was having to do both during my live Q&A. No. There's not a lot really to talk about tonight. Hey, hit 220 subscribers.
Yeah, you gonna do anything special for 250, or are you waiting for 300?
It all depends on how quickly I ascend to 250. If it's after Gen Con, then probably yeah. If it's before, no. Disclaimer: Dylan and I are both going to Matt Wilkins' house, and then going to Gen Con. The three of us.
Yeah, because Jeremy and I love meeting older men on the internet and going to their house.
It's a kink, you can't kink shame here. This is a kink shame free zone. All right. No one likes when people are just douchebags to one another because of their kinks. All right. Take it easy.
Anyway, what else has been going on? The
title of this episode, Don't Kink Shame.
The title of this episode is We Don't Even Have a Topic. Oh, speaking of our 3 people who are watching now, if one of you is Darth Brochure, because we recently found out that Darth Brochure actually watches the show. Not sure if he's a fan of the show or if he just watches it. But
Darth Brochure or is it Darth Harasser?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Darth Harasser. Well, I think Darth Brochure watches the show too, but yeah, if you're watching this, Darth Brochure and or Darth Brochure, hi. Hope you're enjoying it.
We got a question. We got a question on the YouTubes right now.
Yay.
Refresh your feed. I can't open it on here because then it'll start playing on my phone, and that happened last time, and that was cringeworthy.
Was it more cringeworthy than the time that we were off the air
for 2 minutes? No, nothing.
Well, I tried to figure out what was happening.
No, not since Darth Brochure on Minox Nest said he could go without sex for the rest of his life. He proceeded to make fun of it. That was
totally random. No, not since Darth Brochure said the famous phrase that we always repeat when we're on Skype chats at least once.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to do it?
You're better at it. Actually, Matt's the best at it, but he's not here right now.
Matt is officially the best. I will wait on that one. Tiffany asks, is Jeremy single? Alas, yeah, I am. Hit me up, ladies. Or gents, No. No, not the gems.
Jeremy likes to swing both ways.
Well, I mean, we're going to it. Oh, no. Oh, no. The reverse has happened, people. Dylan's been dropped from the call. Oh, boy. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Comcast, for great internet in LA.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Our good sponsor, Comcast. Such a wonderful sponsor.
Where was I?
Let's see. Darth Brochure.
Oh, boy. Whoops. Why am I on Legends 12? Oh, Dark Snovia asked a question on Legends 12. Jesus. Dark Snovia, why do you have to give me a 2-paragraph question? Dylan, read it.
I have to go to the... Oh, my God. Let me get my phone.
Oh, my God. We're both on the phones. Am I on... What one am I on? This is so bad that I don't know what fucking Google Hangout I'm on, what Legends episode this is. But where were we? Yeah, Tiffany, I am single. And I was going to make a joke about how we're going to go see Matt again, but I don't want to landmine this joke with John Sadler here.
All right. Okay, I got
I totally missed that wink, Dylan. It was perfect.
The landmine? That's my joke, too. By the way, landmine, for those of you who don't know...
Not the landmine. Oh, my God, Dylan. You really missed the joke.
Hello, I was trying to do your job and trying to figure out what the question was.
I figured out what the question was, but I didn't feel like reading it. Oh, that's Dylan's job. That's why I have him on here and don't pay him.
Oh, God. I'm just here to A some Qs. You guys Q and I'll A them. Anyway, what was the joke again? Oh,
no. It's done. It's dead. It's dead. More dead than Oprah Winfrey's talk show.
More dead than Darth Harasser's chances of getting back into the movement.
Or Darth Harasser being irrelevant again. Hey-o, asshole. Thanks for watching the show. I'm glad to see you unfriended me and then sent Dylan a passive-aggressive crybaby message.
Oh, he blocked me. He blocked me and he kick-blocked me from his group.
Oh, yeah. I'm kicked out of that group, too. I don't even know where it went. Or maybe I left it. I don't remember anymore. Yeah. Yeah. See you next time. Anyway, can you read the question, please?
So, his is, who is a bigger Mary Sue or Gary Sue? Starkiller or Ahsoka?
There's a Gary Sue? I've never heard that term before.
I'm assuming from the context, it's a male equivalent of a Mary Sue.
I guess. But, okay, can you... I don't mean to sound like the dumbass here. Can you refresh me on what a Mary Sue is? Is that like they're perfect in every way?
Kind of.
I know
they're perfect to the point where... Yeah.
Is that... Okay. Oh, it'd be Starkiller. Because Ahsoka at least fucks up. On a regular basis, she does something stupid. And then it's just half the time she reaps the consequences of her actions. I mean, not the full consequences, because, I mean, General Grievous should have cut her in half at the end of Season 1, but that didn't happen. But Starkiller, I mean, I guess at the end he pays the ultimate consequence. Spoilers, Force Unleashed 1, Starkiller dies in the canon ending. He's deader than a doornail.
Until they clone him. They try to pull the... Is he the real? No, they try to make you think it.
I guess the whole did a good job of that, but the comic didn't. Yeah. The comic didn't even focus on him. Focused on Boba Fett, and it was a terrible Boba Fett story. And the game, I knew he was the clone. I knew it. It's it was so half-assed. I mean, can we go on a Force Unleashed 2 rant right now, Dylan?
Sure.
It's not a good game. It had the potential to be a really good game. But unfortunately, when you give someone 2 lightsabers and you don't up the difficulty in the game is just broken. I think there were 2 times where I died in one playthrough. A normal difficulty. Twice. And it wasn't even at the end. Like, when you fight Vader at the end, easy. Really, really easy. I had no difficulty with that. I had the 2 times had to do. One was a stupid quick time event that I just screwed up, and the other one was fighting way too many ATSTs at once.
Really, because I had problems with at the beginning of the game the train on Quetzal Noda when you're fighting the airship, just because I hadn't unlocked the force power that lets me like grab multiple items at the same time.
Oh, that's right. That's what I meant by the quick time event.
Yeah.
I forgot that has free control because part of the end of it has a quick time event. Yeah, that was stupid. I hate that fucking mission. Oh, you brought back the bad memories.
I still like that game because it's the only game that allows me to bowling pin stormtroopers. Or it's a really satisfying 2 bowling pin stormtroopers in that game.
I don't know. I liked it in 1 better. You can still bowling pin in Force Unleashed 1. I just think Force Unleashed 1, the first half of the game is fantastic. The second half, you go to the same levels again. And you have some dumb bosses. Do you remember
Frank Miller?
The end of Force Unleashed 1? Not when you fight Vader, but I don't even remember. Was it on Raxus Prime? I think it was. Where you fight Proxy and he takes the form of Darth Maul.
Just for length.
Yeah, it's not canon. I don't think it happened in the book. It didn't happen in the comic. You don't go to Raxus Prime again.
By the way, can I
just Raxus Prime in the comic at all? Now that I think about it.
By the way, can I just take a moment to shout out Frank Miller's Evil Hat for having the best comment ever? The only true answer, of course, Ray, the Mary Sueish of them all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I will say that
every character that's a protagonist in The Force Awakens, except Finn.
Back to the Starkiller thing, though, I will say that with every single video game protagonist, you have to take the gameplay itself, with a grain of salt, that the character needs to be overpowered just for the sake of gameplay to get you through it. The real character is canon. The real character is not as powerful as they are portrayed in the game, because a normal power character in the game isn't going to make for a fun game. So they have to overpower them from that aspect. Now, I haven't read either of the 2 Force Unleashed books, so I can't comment on him. But what I do know is that Starkiller was, while he was very strong in the Force, he was a terrible duelist, and he really had nothing else other to him than he was just a weapon. That was all his character was. He was really good at it, but he didn't really have much of anything else. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Ahsoka's bad too.
Ahsoka is pretty
well. That was interesting.
Anything else, people? Anything?
I already have a basically just refreshing the page right now to see if we get anything. Let's see. We haven't
talked about the reading.
Well, I think I was still reading this in the last one. It's just going to be boring, but I'm still reading Fate of the Jedi Omen.
You haven't started Omen yet.
Oh, I've started Omen. I'm a couple chapters in.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I had it in the last one, yeah. So I've made progress. I'm still reading it, but I mean it's a really short book. Now I can see here.
Yeah,
it's like only it's like 276 pages.
That means it's even shorter in the hardcover. Let's see. And is that all you're reading?
Pretty much.
Oh, I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to read Lost Tribe of the Sith?
Yeah, I'm going to swing through that back on my upswing, because once I'm done with the Once I'm done with the Road to Crucible and I get to Crucible, what I'm going to do is I don't want to go through the rest of the EU timeline because I basically started at Truce Pecora and read all the Bantam books and then basically the Road to Crucible, skipping some comics, some stuff here and there that were tertiary stuff. But I don't want to start reading through the books and then reading all the ones I hear good things about first and then have to trudge through all the bad stuff at the very end. So I think the best way to get through that is to start with Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void and read them completely chronologically. So I'll hit Lost Tribe of the Sith somewhere. I'll hit Lost Tribe of the Sith somewhere in the beginning.
You'll hit it second if you're just reading all the novels. That's next.
Yeah.
If you're not going to read the comics. If you're reading the
the comics I still have no order for. Because it's so intimidating seeing them all. I'm like, oh, what to read next, though?
I give you options
I know.
What to read.
I know, but I forget.
Read Rise of the Sith. That's actually a good one to start with. If you want to read some prequel era stuff, like right before Phantom Menace, all of that stuff's... well, the first two stories are just meh Obi-Wan Qui-Gon stories. But the rest, Darth Maul, the miniseries, really good. Prelude to Rebellion is what ends it, and that's fantastic. Which is a Keanu Moody story. And let's see what I'm reading. Still trudging through New Republic Bloodline. Oh, I have some gripes about this book, Dylan.
Okay.
First of all, Chewbacca no longer hangs out with Han Solo anymore. He went back to Kashyyyk. So I guess life debts are not the same thing they were in the EU.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing. So there are two parties in the Senate in the new canon. You got the pulpists, which are about keeping central government of individual planets and then having the overarching Senate. And then there's centralists who are basically borderline... we need to have a bigger, more control of the Senate needs to have more control over the planets.
Mm-hmm.
Borderline becoming an empire again.
Right.
So Leia has to go off on this mission, and it's like her last hurrah before she quits being a senator. And she has to go with this guy Casterfoe, who is a centrist, and Leia's a pulpist. And she goes to his office. And this was what I read last night, and it was horrible. It was hard to read. It was so bad. And he's got all these Imperial artifacts. Well, he was young. So this is a number of years after Return of the Jedi. And he was like a baby during the Battle of Endor. So like he wasn't alive for the Empire. But he says, quote, that the Empire would have been fine if Palpatine hadn't been the Emperor. And then they have an argument. But the thing is, it's so out of character for Leia would suck it up and deal with it and internally be pissed, but instead she's externally throwing a fit. It's incredibly out of character for her, especially at the age she's at now.
How long is this after?
That's the thing. I don't know. Because they won't give times anymore. I know it's a closer to Force Awakens than Return of the Jedi. She and Han are still together, but I don't know where Ben Solo is, or Kylo Ren. We don't know. I don't know if he's just been sent to the temple. There's no talk of him. Or he is now Kylo Ren. He's killed all the Jedi Knights. There's no time. That's another annoying thing. So... And this book is so fucking boring. I think I'm going to quit reading it and switch to the audio. Like, oh my lord! And I have to take this, people. I actually do.
This podcast also brought to you by Jeremy's Phone Line. Jeremy's Phone Line, interrupting podcasts since 2016. Anyway, I guess while we're on the topic of new canon stuff, Star Wars Books have been posting what do you call them? They've been posting little like teaser stuff for up and coming Aftermath Life Debt, And one of them, which everyone is going like frothing at the mouth over, includes like a scene where Leia, because he couldn't copy from Heir to the Thrawn trilogy enough. So yeah, Aftermath's going to have pregnant Leia, and then probably Empire's End is going to have the birth of Ben, because again, completely original idea, having the first major trilogy give birth to the offspring of the Solos at the end of the third novel. Completely original, never done before, never in the history of Star Wars.
Man, I hate you. I think it was so awful.
And the worst is I'm actually hearing good things about his Force Awakens comic book adaptation.
Which I have not read. I don't get paid till Friday, so I don't get to do that.
Get it anyway? I thought you said you were done.
Okay, this is why I have to get it. Because it's on my poll. They put it on there automatically, and I can't get out of it. So I have to get the number 1 issue.
So just get it, and then throw it away.
No, I'll probably wipe my ass with it first, and then throw it away. I know, it fucking sucks, man. Oh, I'm not even done with my bullshit with the new canon.
This is what you get. This is karma for all of the
what? Nothing? Me suffering through the new canon? I don't think I've liked any of it, really. I've been mildly entertained at best. God, Han Solo #1 sucked butt. Star Wars 20 sucked butt. Although I will say, Uncle Owen needed to change his space diapers at the end of that story. Because every single time they drew him, he either was crying, screaming, or shitting his pants. It was so bad, Dylan. It was very cringeworthy. I'm dropping everything. Everything's getting pulled off the pole at this point. I'm done. New canon. Done. Stick a fork in it, bitch. It's done.
There you have it. Jeremy.
Put in the title description, don't kink shame, and Jeremy quits the new canon. Although I might listen to Aftermath Life Death.
Oh my god!
The airport, because it will keep me awake with its cringeworthiness. I drive that early in the morning to the airport.
Is it true that not even Mark Thompson can salvage that book?
Dylan, I have to listen. I have to do something. Well, okay, because Dylan and I, our first flight, because we don't live anywhere near close to each other, we just live in the same state. So our flights meet up, and where's our layover at? Are we in Dallas or are we in Houston?
We're somewhere in Texas. So if you're at the Texas airport, look if you're at an airport in Texas around like the 1st or 2nd of August, whenever we're out there, the 1st, yeah. And you have seriously nothing better to do than meeting 2 Star Wars fans you watch on a podcast on YouTube. I feel safe saying that because it's an airport, so they can't bring weapons or anything in there.
Well, at the convention, I think we're going to get pat down as well.
Yeah. We should get a panel. We should do a live...
Dylan, we can't afford that. That's closed. That's closed. Unless you want to put a panel in the airport terminal. You can do that there. But the thing is, you don't have nearly as long a layover. I only think you have a 2-hour layover. I have a 5-hour layover. So that's 3 hours I need to kill listening to Aftermath Life Dead.
Or you can, just read some
good
expanded
That's a good idea, too. Yeah, hang myself from the airport terminal. That's a great idea. Actually, people, don't commit suicide over the new canon. That's like the worst thing you could do. Yeah. Yeah, we do not, this podcast does not support suicide over the new canon.
Right.
Or shaming over the new canon,
Choose life. If you're and you really think there's no other way, there is hope. There is a great universe. It's called Legends. It's a lot better. It's well structured. It's well written. Like 90% of it, there are Crystal Star and all that. Every now and then there's a Crystal Star, but it's a lot better. It actually has continuity. The characters make sense. Give it a try.
Timeline.
There's actually a timeline. Give it a try. If you're suffering through the new canon and you want something good, give Legends a try. Trust us, you won't regret it.
God, dude.
And also War for President.
Yeah, he'll put a wall around Disney and make Bob Iger pay for it. Although I heard he's actually losing money in his campaign. He had to fire Matt Wilkins for being his campaign manager.
Yeah.
Sad times. Trouble in the movement. We keep losing viewers. I think it's because of my suicide talk.
I think it's because people are like, oh, this seems interesting. Then they start listening to them like, oh my god, these people suck. And then they do something else.
Yeah, I don't know. People are wondering. Now, people are wondering, is Dylan single? Well, I have something
we all know the
for you.
To that question.
At Gen Con, I'm officially announcing this contest.
We are not doing it.
Win a date with Dylan.
We are not doing Win a Date with Dylan.
Yes, we are, Dylan. You need this. For all you lovely ladies out there, you could win a date with none other than the Armada champ, Dylan. First hit, Star Wars Armada aficionado.
I wouldn't even call myself an aficionado.
Dylan, shut up. I'm fluffy out this better for you. What you need to do is comment why you should win a date with Dylan.
Don't oversell it. It's not great. Trust me.
With Dylan. Dylan, shut up. Don't ruin this for yourself. You need this. All right?
Like, I don't know. Imagine reading Aftermath. That's probably a more enjoyable experience than having a conversation with me in real life.
Don't undersell yourself. You're a diamond in the rough in the movement. You know?
I'm a diamond in a space diaper.
And we lost most of our viewers there. I think I alienated our male viewers. I mean, I guess you could win a date with Dylan, too. He'll take you to play Armada. And Dylan's last picture. Oh, boy. I'd like to thank our sponsor once again, Comcast.
Oh, man. What if they actually call us and be like, "Hey, we'd actually
we want to partner with you." God, what if we had a Patreon, Dylan?
I don't know.
Maybe I'd just spend the money on cocaine.
What if we had more than 5 viewers?
Hey, we do. It's 6.
Oh. Someone close the YouTube right now.
So it's everyone's.
Oh man, Frank Miller's now. Evil Hat earns the Legends Podcast Award for best commenter.
Yeah, this dude's a gem, man, and I mean that seriously, dude. You're on point, man. I need more beer.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
you actually have to walk up the stairs today.
Hey, dude, I've only had one Corona today. I have to drink the cheap beer because we had a party at my house, and my buddy's house is alcohol-free. So he just left me with all the cheap beer. So I've been drinking Corona for the last 2 weeks because, it's not payday yet. It's awful. There's
another thing. Another thing that is coming up. So it's been this is a big thing in the movement of this weekend, but it's been about a year since the Hasbro Fan Poll.
Oh, shit, has it really?
When we voted in a landslide victory, 46 to 21, which is the second place for Darth Revan, and it's still not out. Now, to be fair, Sabine, which they like shenanigans second placed in because she was getting promoted, and they were pretty much going to make her the figure. Is there? But still, it's been a year. Where's my Revan?
Yeah, where is Revan? I'd actually buy that toy. I'm not a toy collector by any means. I got that they wouldn't release it at Christmas because they were too busy with Force Awakens merchandise. That made sense. That would just be too much. But now we don't have a Revan?
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to bring up the whole issue about this because it's been talked to death, but I will bring up the one point of it is that Hasbro, in like a couple weeks, managed to make an action figure for the Chewbacca mom. But it's been a year, and we still don't have our Revan.
Oh, yeah, the Chewbacca woman has her own.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to get too much into that because it's been talked about to death, and really it's just complaining at this point that because when have we been? We're not about complaining about things here.
This podcast.
No, because we're not about complaining about anything here. We don't complain about things.
Yeah, we definitely don't complain about how Dave Filoni is a hack fraud, and his show sucks, and it attracts the benders, as Tim would say.
The benders.
Yeah, that's a throwback. We haven't used that term in a long time.
I think only Tim uses it now.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Should we explain to? I don't think we talked about benders on this. It's Minox Nest.
I used to be on a podcast called the Minox Nest. Dylan was on there a few times. I ended up being a host because I had to edit several of them in a row because our good friend Tristan never edited his stuff.
Now he's with the seamen.
He is one of the seamen, covered in semen, surrounded by semen, all day, every day, semen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
that's what happens when you listen to the Navy.
Anyway, so Tim, one of the other hosts, he referred to, I don't even know, Rebels fans, I think, as benders. Like, they bent to the will of Disney.
Or they bend over for Disney, depending on what mood he's in.
Yeah, but also because the stormtroopers in one episode of Rebels moved incorrectly for their armor. It was like they were Gumbies. Probably some person's like, what the fuck is a Gumby? Gumby was a claymation
They're
character.
probably like that person that claimed that they 3D printed a save button. Did you see that? There was a meme going around. It was like a floppy disk, and they were claiming that they 3D printed it.
I don't intentionally look up stupidity on Facebook.
I don't either. It just appears in my feed. I have no clue how this thing works. I can't hide stuff like that.
God, that sounds horrendous. Do we have any more questions here? I'm running out of steam.
We have Frank Miller's Evil Hat 1.
Yeah.
And not to be outdone, Frank Miller's Evil Hat 2, who's probably out there somewhere.
And then Frank Miller's Evil Hat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, him too.
And then, of course, Frank Miller. One of my fave comic writers. God, what if Frank Miller wrote a Star Wars story? Do you know who
What if Chuck Wendig wrote a good Star Wars story?
Who, what?
What if Chuck Wendig wrote a good Star Wars story?
And it was Legends?
Oh, God. That's probably what they would do. They would probably continue the expanded universe and have Chuck Wendig write Sword of the Jedi just to piss us off. Just as a gentle finger.
You know what would happen if that were the case? So at the Trump rally a couple days ago that kid pulled a gun and tried to shoot Trump and then said he would gladly do it again? That's probably going to happen. Edward, Darth Grosser is probably the one that's going to be like, good web one. Because Bernie's not going to be president.
It would probably happen at a convention while Darth Harasser was harassing people, making them join his group.
They work together.
It probably happened at this. It'd be a tag team.
It's the rule of two at its finest.
But who would take over when Darth?
God, I should have laughed at my own jokes. That sounds really narcissistic.
It was really funny though. Of course, that master. We all know how Darth Harasser likes to be in control, so that'd be interesting. Of course, it would also explain the inevitable betrayal, also known as Rule of Two.
Darth Harasser. I just want weed when I'm angry at someone.
Well, he can read plenty of his passive-aggressive novels that he sends out. I mean, I'm still working on the last one. I'm only on the 136th page of it, so I've got like a third of the way done.
It's so terrible. It's so cringeworthy. Frank Miller's Evil Hat 1 killed Frank Miller's Evil Hat 2. Someone called the police.
Right.
He killed it. Let's see, what's... okay.
We resorted to heckling our audience. Our one commenter.
Yeah. Well, at least we're getting comments.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Tiffany is happy that I'm single. I'm happy too, in all seriousness. I don't... Well, I'll get into it because she ran through the middle of one of my videos. It didn't end well. It was rather embarrassing, and I'm glad it's over.
It lasted like a weekend.
It was a whole week.
Oh, it was? Okay, I was making a joke.
It was a week. And, it just wasn't... There was no maturity on the other end. And, of course, I'm just the honky devil. God forbid I do something that offends someone. Oh, boy. Dylan knows this. I am the honky white devil.
Mm-hmm.
True story. People
you should see what he says in the after show.
What?
I said you guys should see what he says in the after show. I should record one discreetly and send it out. It'll forever ruin your chances of a political career.
Dude, being on that Minox nest ruined I think that ruined anyone's chance who listened to that of having a political career.
I think everyone who listened to Monarch Says 19 and 19 and a half is now on a list.
Yeah. At the Pentagon, it's they got the terrorist list, and then they had the people who watched Minox Nest 19 and 19 and a half. God, never have I tried to hold a podcast together and I was the politically correct one. That should say something. But hey, Dylan was on there. Well, I should say John Sadler was.
The white person there. Wait. Are you whiter? Because Sadler's a ginger, but you're really pale. Who would be whiter?
You're obviously whiter.
John Sadler. The real John Sadler.
Oh, you mean the Filthy Casual? The Filthy Casual is a lot whiter than I am. Okay. It's the lighting here. I didn't turn on my spotlights. I turned on one and turned on.
Meanwhile, I'm really dark because I have only one light. My other light's all the way over there.
You look like you're one of those people that goes on Omegle and just jacks off. The one who's secretly...
Or maybe those people on Omegle that gets in a conversation with Johnny and then he has a 7-month relationship with them when all it is just him stalking her.
God, I miss those guys.
When are we playing Cards Against Humanity again? Oh, wait, never, because Johnny has the deck and he won't give it to anyone?
Yeah, and Nolan won't talk to us anymore. Oh, dude, we used to be so good friends with the Battlefront Network. Remember when Battlefront Network was relevant, when they thought the game was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it turned out to be other shite?
Mm-hmm. And I remember when Django got a free copy of the Battlefront, and then wished he got his money back.
Jackass. No. Speaking of Battlefront, they're adding EU to the DLC.
Oh yeah,
that's right. It's something I remembered. Bill and Matt and I were all talking about this last week.
Yeah, there's a Bespin map pack which has some maps from the expanded universe, and they're even saying they're even advertising it as Legends.
It's so wonderful. It makes me happy on the inside.
Makes your insides happy.
It's good to read when you're angry at someone. Twisting. Oh, thank you. See, at least I have someone who boasts my my wonderfulness. I mean, at least Tiffany, because Dylan doesn't. Dylan doesn't even like me that much. He's probably horrified that he's gonna be stuck with Matt and me for like 9 days.
I just saw a meme of it was like a SpongeBob of a guy writing on paper, and he's like, "Finally, a full EU timeline, including the Clone Wars with Filoni's show with no contradictions at all." And then like the next panel is like it just getting completely destroyed. I should send that to Matt.
Oh, dude! So Frank Miller's Hat Evil One is giving a synopsis of just a pitch of what Frank Miller's Star Wars book would be. And he's quote, "Lots of internal monologue, black and white with only a few splashes of color." Oh, I guess Frank Miller's also drawing this, so it's like Sin City. Oh, definitely prostitutes, bulky characters, some references to 300, lots of violence, over the top characterization, and hard boiledness. So basically a little bit of squick and awesome. Yeah. You and me, man. Fucking Frank Miller #1, dude. Dark Knight Returns, his Daredevil run, Born Again, Man Without Fear. Hell, I even like Elektra Assassin. Love Sin City. Love 300. I'm even a fan of Dark Knight Strikes Again. But #1 in my heart is still Year One. Well, actually, I don't know. Dark Knight Returns, though. They're like...
Could you imagine Red Harvest written by Frank Miller?
Dude, that would have been awesome. Only all the female Sith would either want sex all the time, or they would just be prostitutes, like dorm prostitutes. I could see it now. Is that a Sith Academy? Everyone would monologue, and there'd be one guy who's like really big. He's got bandages all over his face. They call him Darth Marv. And he just beat the crap out of people and forget what he was doing. And realizes like, oh shit, I killed these people. Uh-oh, I guess I'm a Sith.
Then there'd be zombies.
I just thought of a Red Harvest parallels to Sin City. Because that first... have you ever read Sin City, Dylan?
No. I've only seen the first movie.
Well, that's practically the first 2 volumes and the 4th volume, word for word. I think there's one scene they take out of it. It's the best comic book adaptation ever, in my opinion. That wasn't a DC animated movie. Because it's just word for word, panel for panel, practically the comic. Well, the exception of Jessica Alba has a bra on. Whereas in her character, Nancy, them baps are hanging out the whole time. But Sin City 2, Dame to Kill For, that movie, trash. That's what I call the post 9/11 Frank Miller. So don't see that. It's bad. It's really, 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 really bad. You know.
Well, it was released 8 million years after, anyone cared about it.
It was really... Oh, Dude, when did that come out? I want to see 7.
It was like a year or two ago.
No, it came out a couple. I think it came out in 2014.
Yeah, a year or two ago. Or 2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah. It was awful. Oh. I remember I saw that. Like, I saved money because I was unemployed, and I went and saw that. And I saw there was 2 other people in the theater, and it was the second day it had been out. And I'm like, this sucked. This is one of the worst. It's the worst. It's one of the worst comic book movies I've ever seen. It doesn't. I think it beats out Batman and Robin in my book of worst comic book movies. But wow, why are we even calling this a Star Wars Legends podcast?
I know this has become Crossroads of the Omniverse.
But only
actually, no, it's better.
It won't be taken away.
Exactly. Well, that's until Comcast strikes again, and then we'll lose half the odd.
I just thought of Frank Miller writing a series of books on Comcast. Teamed up with Alan Moore. Oh. You know what I've been reading? Because I don't want to read New Republic Bloodline. I've been reading Wonder Woman Earth 1. I think I'm going to review it this weekend.
Hopefully we get Hexer Dusk soon. It's supposed to come on December, though.
I want that so bad. We can talk about Hexer Dusk because it's John Ostrander.
And Jan Durismo.
And Jan Durismo are probably one of our favorite team ever on comics.
I mean, Legacy, Dawn of the Jedi, Republic. They've been teamed up for some of the volumes of the just the Jedi one shots, or was that also Republic?
The Jedi one shots. They were one shots.
Were they marketed as Republic?
No, they were one shots in of itself. All right. Oh, I can talk about. I read an issue of the old Marvel stuff. Well, I read half of it.
Imagine if I
don't know what you just said, Dylan, but okay.
I was just going to say, John Ostrander is like if Timothy Zahn wrote comics.
Timothy Zahn did write comics, believe it or not.
I know he did, but
he wrote Star-Lord. From Guardians of the Galaxy. He had a Star-Lord run in the 90s. Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah.
I stumbled across it not too long ago. At least it could be another Zahn. I'm pretty sure it was Timothy Zahn. I was like, what the hell? But he did. Let's see. What? I'm trying to think of what. I think he wrote more than just Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand.
He was a part of Union. Stackpole headed Union, but I think he was on
Oh, so I can blame him for that too. I know he had a hand in when they took the Thrawn trilogy and adapted it to comics.
Yeah, but that's kind of cheating. Excuse me.
Well, no shit. But no, Zahn was more of a novelist, in my opinion. I think that's better suited to him.
Right.
I think that's about all we have to talk about today. If you guys want to get a hold of me, talking the Stupid Chainsaw Productions group. Hey, Dylan, did you know I have a group?
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to use it again. It's the Stupid Chainsaw Productions film group on Facebook. Go check it out. It's linked in my YouTube channel description. Also, shoot me a message on Twitter or a tweet, or you can shoot me a direct message on Instagram and look at my lovely collages of my supervisor looking like he took a shit in the bail bin.
Or you can send a message on Facebook, and then maybe one day he'll check his other inbox and see it.
I don't recommend that because my Facebook is so private now that even it's such an ordeal to accept a friend request. I have to send a friend request to the person who sent me a friend request in order for it to work. Yeah. Anyway, guys, have a nice day. Thanks for the lovely comments. Frank Miller's Evil Hat and Tiffany. You kind of saved the podcast for a little bit. And Dark Snobia, thank you for the question. And can you? Why you have to write a fucking short story every time you? I don't know. I like reading your comments.
Then one last thing, I'd love to thank our wonderful sponsor.
And also, don't forget, win a date with Dylan. Anyway, have a nice day.